Hi guys, it's been a while since I've made a video, and lately, obviously, I've been going through a lot. I'm sure everyone is. What a year 2016 has been, and I can't believe it's almost coming to a close already. Today's August 22nd, 2016, and the energies are really intense, and I know myself that I've been clearing a lot of stuff from this life and past lives, and today I really just wanted to talk about this idea of being grounded in our physical bodies, and what a challenge that seems to be for a lot of us. And something that I talk about quite often, whether it's in my writing or in my music, is this concept as a human being, we always seem to think that we're so alone and that nobody could possibly understand what we're going through and we're the only person feeling what we feel right now. And obviously that's bullshit and it's not true. And it's illusion, but you know what, it can feel so real. And I'd like to speak about that today because I understand firsthand what it's like to go through something, whether it's really dramatic or serious or not. No matter what the issue is, I think at some point or another, all of us feel that nobody gets us, or we don't belong, or we don't fit in. And in that way, we can all relate. So I always want to share from my experience, of course. And that doesn't mean everyone's going to get me, but in some way or another, I'm sure that you can find a little bit of resonance, and that's what I hope anyway, and that's why I make these videos. So I've realized that for the majority of my life, I've had a really, really hard time connecting to my physical body, and it just makes me so emotional to talk about this, and a lot of this is being released for me, so this is just raw and me learning as I go and sharing it with you guys. And it's not about coming to this perfect end point or this perfect place of wisdom or mastery where we're done learning, because we're always continuing to grow and evolve and change, and so much of us does change. Obviously, our physical bodies go through so much change in this human lifetime, because think about when you're born, you're probably the size of a hand or two hands, you can be cradled in someone's arms. And every body is different, obviously. And not everyone grows up to be 5 foot whatever. Some people are 6 foot something, 7 foot even, and some people are under 4 feet. And however tall or big you are is exactly what you're supposed to be. And I believe whatever your soul chose as a shell, that's what you're embodying here in this lifetime. But even with that knowingness, it can be really difficult sometimes to accept the body that we've been given, or really the body that we've chosen to inhabit in this lifetime. And personally, I know this may sound to some people this is going to sound insane, and to other people they'll totally get it. But stay with me. I feel that I know that my soul is a lot older than my physical body in this lifetime. There's no doubt about that. And I feel a lot older and a lot more tired than what appears to be on the outside. And I think that, from what I've gathered, I've had a lot more lives as a spirit who's kind of light and floating around and not really used to being in a human form, in a human body. And I've had a really, really difficult time seeing my body and my mind and my spirit, my soul, my heart, everything about me, because we're huge beings. We're not just a human being. I've had a hard time seeing all of this as one, and I've always kind of kept my physical body separate from the rest of me. And I realized this weekend that I find it quite hurtful with these two scenarios, and they're kind of two different sides of the spectrum that I've experienced. One being what something a lot of women have faced in this lifetime, and I'm sure a lot of people that are not women have experienced this as well, but I know that women in particular deal with this issue sometimes of being sexualized. And there's a lot of craziness in the media and pressures to look a certain way and all this stuff. And there seems to be this thing where people can admire, or sometimes it's a little bit more than that, and it's not necessarily a positive thing to look at a woman's body and kind of objectify her and look at a woman's body as something to be used. And there's obviously a lot of issues around this, whether it's molestation or rape, or even if it's just derogatory. Sometimes it's not even a physical thing. Sometimes it's just, it's kind of repulsive that women have to deal with this. And to have that feeling that people are only interested in you for what you look like and for your body, and that they don't have any interest in getting to know you for who you are at a soul level, or for what you think and how beautiful your mind is kind of hurtful. And this is something that I've really struggled with, because I don't think there's anything wrong with dressing up, and I love to express myself with fashion and things of that nature, and I like to be able to physically express myself through art and through photography and through all of these things, and expressing myself through my divine feminine, if you will, and through sensuality has been a really, really big issue for me, because it has to be through your physical body. And there are magical, beautiful things that our bodies do. And I'm not just talking about sex either. I'm talking also about the whole birthing process, or even our menstruation cycles. Like all of these things, when you really think about the science of it, we are very complex, beautiful, intricate beings. And even, like putting all the feminine and masculine stuff aside, just the human body in general is a really, really miraculous thing. If you think about it, how many times that your heart beats without you telling it to do that, and how many times that you blink, how many times do you breathe and your blood is flowing and oxygen is flowing and everything is going through your veins into your arteries and keeping you alive. And we don't even think about this stuff until someone dies or something really tragic happens. And I think that's really, really unfortunate that we become so disconnected from our body. And in all honesty, I feel like I came into this lifetime pretty disconnected from my body from the get-go. And it's so much easier for me to be connected to spirit, to be connected to my higher self, to be connected to other people's spirits and souls, and to have more of a sense of memory and soul recognition from past lives than I have with my own physical body in this lifetime. And I've found that to be a really big challenge. And this is something that I'm going through. And I also found the opposite on the weekend is something I've dealt with a lot in this lifetime as well, is being seen for my spirit, for my soul, for my heart, for my thoughts, for my art, for the things that I create. And being loved for all that I am in terms of that, but yet having this sense of my physical body, my physicality being separate from that and being kind of rejected. And obviously when I've played that out in relationships, it's shown up as people taking interest in me and my artistry, but them exploring sexually with other people. And that's been a really, really painful thing for me too, because it's like, wow, why is my physical body, being rejected? And it can feel like it's not good enough, and that goes into this whole perfectionistic thing, and it goes back to when I was very young and I, hated my body and all this stuff, and it's just this never-ending healing journey of loving my body and loving my mind and loving my spirit all the same and accepting all of me. So maybe not everyone is able to connect to this specifically, and maybe you don't feel like an old soul, and maybe you feel connected to your body, and some people have that, and that's okay. Like, God bless you. Honestly, if you feel like you're able to express yourself by movement and by dance and by sexuality, like, you are freaking so blessed, because I'm telling you, like, it is such a challenge to feel like you don't even fit in your own skin. And I'm not even talking about what my body looks like. Like, I just have a really difficult time feeling like in this physical body that I belong in it, you know? And it's not even about outward appearance at this point of my journey. It's just like, I don't even feel like I belong in a body. Like, I just have a really hard time being grounded here on the earth. And I know that I'm here obviously for a reason and to be here on this planet right now for a purpose. And I'm very aware of what a big part of that is. But I have a lot of challenging times where I have a hard time being in a physical body. And I don't wish to have a different physical body. I just wish sometimes that I wasn't even in a physical body and I could just be a spirit. Because that's what I'm very used to. But anyway, even if you can't relate to any of that, I know that I'm not the only one who has an issue being in their body. People have so many body issues, whether you're female or not female, no matter what your gender is, no matter what your race is, people always feel, well, not always, but I know that a lot of people feel really uncomfortable being in their skin. And I think it's really annoying too when people just say, well, just keep loving yourself and keep working hard on yourself, and then, you know, eventually you'll just love yourself enough, and then eventually you'll be able to meet a partner, and then eventually everything's just going to unravel perfectly in your life once you love yourself perfectly. And I kind of just want to say that, you know, if you're a perfectionist like me, that day never comes, and it's a journey that's never going to end. And it's not even about having to love yourself and love someone else perfectly. Like, we're imperfect beings as humans. Humans aren't perfect. I mean, we are, but we're perfectly imperfect. And that's just kind of the way it goes. So there's not one day where, you know, you're going to wake up and then you're going to love yourself perfectly. And then you're going to have the most loving partner. And then you'll be worthy. And then, you know, and then you'll be comfortable. And then, because it's kind of this whole horizon living thing that my mentor, Mastin Kipp, was mentioning, how, you know, if you're horizon living, you see this perfect ideal for maybe what you want to feel or for where you want to be, and you continue, and to move on, but so does your horizon. If your horizon is here and you're moving forward and you're horizon living, then you're never catching up to where you want to be. And so it's very important that we remember to kind of breathe and try to be grounded where we are now, and accept where we are now, even if it's not quote unquote perfect. And everyone has their different idea of what perfect is. So anyway, I know that we all have our struggles with our bodies, whether it's a postpartum thing after giving birth, or we're going through a birth physically or internally. I know that a lot of people go through this, which is why I want to speak out about it today, because I know that I can't be the only person on the planet that just doesn't feel completely like they belong in their body. I know that there's a lot of sexual issues going on in the world, and it has for a very long time, and it's still going on, and that is a big reason why a lot of people don't feel comfortable in their body. And again, if you have like an easy time expressing yourself through your physical body, then congratulations, you've mastered, or you're, you know, maybe you have a better sense of mastery in that area of your life than I do. I've just been I've been doing a lot of work, and it's exhausting. A lot of spiritual work, a lot of mental, emotional work, and physical work as well. But I think we're all working on something, and it's not even about being perfect, like I said. You know, it's just kind of about trying to embrace wherever we are at any given time and in any given moment. I've heard from people recently that have also gone through this in the sense of they don't look like the rest of their family. And sometimes that happens too. It can be as simple as, you know, your family, your parents, your siblings are a lot more leaner and taller than you, and for some reason you're a lot shorter and maybe a bit heavier. Or maybe it's the opposite, where your family is kind of more heavy set naturally, and you're this, you know, lanky, long, scrawny person that gets picked on growing up. No matter what the issue is, I think that a lot of us struggle being in our physical body. And I don't have the answers in terms of this is how you love yourself and this is how you manifest everything that you want. I think we're all learning and we're all on our own unique healing journeys, and I'm just here to share what I'm going through, and I just hope that can help someone else. And I always want to just expose what I go through, because I know that I have a voice, and I know that I want to continue to use my voice for good. And I get a lot of attention being an artist, and sometimes it's positive and sometimes it's negative. And I've had both sides of the spectrum. Again, there's people that are jealous of me for some reason and want to be smaller than they are, because I do have a naturally thin frame, and I always have. And I obviously have talked openly about eating issues that I did have when I was younger, but I always literally have had a naturally small frame in this lifetime. That doesn't make it easier for me to love and accept my body. It's just the way it is. But I've dealt with a lot of people that are jealous of me, and I just find it astounding, because I've had a really difficult time being in this body. So the fact that some people wish that they were in my body or had a body like mine is just kind of mind-boggling to me. And I've had the opposite, or maybe it's the same thing, where people really judge me and scrutinize me for being whatever size that I am, and they think that I should look like something else. And I am who I am, and my body looks like what it looks like right now, and our bodies are always changing, and my mind is always changing and growing, and my spirit is too, and that's life. We're always growing and evolving. So to end this weird video, kind of rant, if you will, I'd like to just pull one card from the Archangel Gabriel deck by Doreen Virtue, and one from the Daily Guidance deck that she has as well. I just feel like these are pretty gentle decks, and it may be able to help us tap into some sort of self-love message. And then we'll call it a day, and I'll be on my way. So the message we have from Gabriel is classes. Learning and teaching are a part of your higher calling. So this is going to be an interesting thing, because tonight I'm actually going to be partaking in an online seminar for awakening the divine feminine, which is kind of what I was talking about earlier, this divine feminine energy of creativity and expressing your sensuality and intimacy and all of these things that sometimes it just gets so repressed. And that's something I've really been battling lately, is trying to just get in touch with my feminine side and to allow myself to express everything that it is that I feel, and to get in touch with my physical body, even though I'd rather be floating heavenward. Like, I need to be here on this planet for a reason. So definitely stay open to classes that you see online, or stay open to any signs that you may see throughout your day. Maybe there's something in your local community that can help you as well. So if you're struggling with any kind of issue like me, stay open, and stay open to watching new YouTube videos. And even if it seems a little out there for you, just stay open to hearing what other people have to say, because more times than not, we can relate to people. And as I said at the top of the video, a lot of us feel the same things. And even if our circumstances are slightly different, a lot of us feel the same issues and feel the same emotions, and a lot of us are kind of awakening to the same things within. And I think it's really important that we stay open to connecting with other people. And it's also just as equally important to express what you're going through. And you have a special, unique voice. I'm not any different than anybody else. Well, I mean, I'm different, but everyone has a voice and everyone deserves to be heard and everyone deserves to share their story. And it's not about being a victim, it's about coming together and realizing that we all can relate and you can help someone else by sharing your story. And I'm a living, walking, apparently, breathing example of this in human form. And the other message that we have is time to go, which means a lot of things are coming and going right now. And a lot of energies are leaving. This is a pretty emotional time. We just had a full moon last week, and there's been like so many retrogrades this year in 2016, and I think we're going to go into another one in September with Mercury. And also we have eclipses coming in, and this is a really big portal of energy, and a lot of things are going and a lot of things are coming in. And just think of the sunset. The sun sets every day and the sun rises every day. And sometimes you can't even see it. Sometimes you can't see the sunset and sometimes you can't see the sunrise because it's cloudy and it's foggy, and that's just like our minds. Sometimes it's just so hard to see what the heck is going on. And I've really felt like that lately. But just because it's hazy and it's hard to see, it doesn't mean that we're completely lost. And if you're at sea, you can be so close to getting to your destination after a long storm. But sometimes if it's really foggy, it looks like, you just can't see any kind of solid ground and you can't see where your destination is. And if you're ever going to land on land ever again, you can feel like you're in the middle of the ocean. But keep the faith. Stay open to taking classes or watching YouTube videos, and stay open to expressing how you feel and what you're going through. And reach out to people, because someone out there has got to feel what you're feeling. If there's over 7 billion people on this planet right now, there's got to be at least one other person. There's probably hundreds and thousands and maybe even millions somewhere spread out across the world feeling something similar to what you're feeling. And it's important to remember that. And maybe that will shine a little bit of light and be like the sunset or be the sunrise for you. And the fog will clear. I think we're just all going through a time right now where things are crazy. Like, when are things not crazy? I think this is the past 2 years, really, or maybe even 4 years. I just feel like a lot of us have really evolved through a lot of really tough stuff. And it can be really, really easy to want to give up and to want to give up on our purpose and want to give up our light and want to retreat. And it's okay to retreat sometimes, but it's so important that we stay connected to humans and not just our higher self, which is what I'm finding too, because there's nothing wrong with connecting to spirit, and I think it's so vital during these times, but I also think it's just as important to connect with other humans because we need each other. And I guess I'll leave it at that for today. So I hope you guys have a really great day, and I hope someone can resonate with me out there. And yeah, I guess we'll talk soon.